It's not your normal intro. This is the day after I filmed the other stuff, and I have an update for you at the end. The part where I normally say, hey, just for the job you want, that's where the update will be, so stay tuned to that part. Good morning. It's pretty early here at Flannel Farms. Brian here. We have a bit of a problem. Well, problem, blessing. Sometimes they tend to look the same. But we had somebody offer us an opportunity to learn, so we took it. Let me show you what we're learning. Good morning. Hey, come here. Wakey, wakey. This, as my kids have named him, her, I don't know, is Charcoal. Charcoal is a pig. My buddy Rob up here has been helping us kind of get the lay of the land when it comes to starting out our homestead. He's got 25 acres around the corner, and he's got, I don't know, 40 or 50 pigs. He's been doing them for a while. So this was a run to the litter, not doing so well. So we were given this little guy, or girl, to kind of learn to see if there was something we could do. To try and learn and see if we could maybe nurse him back to health and have some bacon in the future. But, ding, ding, ding. What do you think of that? We're gonna go get some diatomaceous earth to see if we can help with the pig lice infestation. Yeah. Because we've been doing a little research, and it seems that, especially with runts, I know. Especially with runts of litters, they can get infested, and it makes them sick. So, we have got to run over to the store this morning. That's why we're up so early. Get out of here, see if we can get him or her more comfortable. Once we get Piggy squared away, the carburetor for the tractor should be here. I'm really excited about that. So we're gonna see if we can get that sorted and fixed and running properly. We've got it running pretty well right now, but whenever we put it under load, it stalls out. So I appreciate you guys' comments and some of your links to assistance. So we're gonna give this a shot today and see how that goes. And if that does not sort out my problems, then we're gonna start making phone calls. So hang tight with me. Let's see what we can get done. All right, we're back from Tractor Supply, and we have our diatomaceous earth and ivermectin. I know. But we're not using it for that. Today, we are using it because it is an anti-parasitic. The problem is, the only dose they had, if you can see here, contains 10 doses. Contains 10 doses for 550 pounds because it's made for cattle. So, what we're gonna have to do is dilute it down like 200 times because I'm not sure what this guy weighs. I don't even think he weighs 5 pounds. So we're gonna weigh him and then see. And we also have our diatomaceous earth. We're going to use this in his environment right now. You can sprinkle this directly on him, but we're going to go ahead and use it in the environment and use the anti-parasitic first and see how that works. So let's get little guy weighed and see what we got working with. I was gonna film our treatment of this little guy, but he doesn't look good. I don't think he's gonna make it. We've only had him like a day. day and a half. This is the quickest we could get out to get the anti-parasitic stuff for him, but I think it was just too much for him. Too little, too late. We've put the ivermectin on him. We've sprinkled diatomaceous earth around the place. We're going to try and give him a little more food, but such as it goes on the farm sometimes. We did wrap his little pen because the flies were being incessant on him in some screen. So he's comfortable now, but he just doesn't look good, guys. So we'll see what happens. But that is how it goes. So we should move on to other things. I'll keep you updated. Let's go take care of something else. He was getting bothered by all the flies because it warmed up today. So we wrapped his little kennel in some regular old screen, and he seems to be resting comfortably. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens. Unfortunately, though, life goes on the farm. And when I say that we might have made homesteading 101's a mistake, I guess the first question is, what would the first mistake, right, 101 be? And I guess that depends on how far back you want to go, right? Is the first 101 about homesteading, decide you want to have a homestead? Or is it find the property? Or is it purchase the property? Or is it now that you've purchased the property? I don't know where it starts, but I wonder if we have jumped in too far, too fast, with too many things. So I've shown you my my collection of trash over here, and I have not even had a chance to continue cleaning out the barn, and yet we have 100 chickens. We took a baby sick pig. I have purchased a tractor. There's all kinds of things going on. And I've got all these outbuildings that I haven't had time to go through yet. And we're trying to make it work. Now, of course, the answer is to whether we've made that mistake or not is time will tell. We're doing our best by the animals. They're, for the most part, well, the animals that we have been directly responsible for, that we received in good condition, are still in good condition. Here's another outbuilding that I haven't had time to go through. They're still in good shape. So the sickly animals that we've received, we're doing our best for, and we've dropped everything to try and take care of them. But that's the way it goes. So now, what I need to do is, there's this trash pile over here we need to burn. It's got some good things in it, like some chicken wire, hardware cloth, stuff like that. So I think burning it's going to be the easiest solution. But the problem is, they piled it up in the woods, man. It's mostly wood, that stuff, and it's in the woods. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our chainsaw and we're going to clear a berm. Well, berm's not really right. A fire break, I guess, would be a better term. We're going to clear a fire break around it, because you can see it doesn't go very high. Pile it all inwards, set it on fire, and let it burn. And that will give me more space to start storing more things that I haven't organized. So let's get busy with that right now. We've got our earplugs in, headphones on, time to zone out and do some work. I find that doing some type of manual labor, when you have something on your mind, like the piggy or who knows what, the economy, jobs, whatever, grab something, listen to some tunes, and go do some work. Do something productive. Alright, so we have cleared a bit of a path around what's going to be burning. I'm going to show you. Now, there's a couple things to keep in mind when you're doing something like this. You want to make sure the fire can't go through the trees in the top. You also want to make sure it can't go around the ground. So we're going to rake up the ground toward it like you would do around a regular burn pit. The other thing you want to keep in mind, wind direction, how fast is it going, when did it rain last, when is it going to rain again, and comply with all your local ordinances. If you have to get a burn permit, some rural places, you just have to call and say, hey, can I burn today? So we're good today, and we're going to rake up a little bit, and then we're going to set this thing on fire. The other thing you have to consider is what materials are you burning. So if you're burning a bunch of couches and furniture and stuff, the British thermal units that gives off, the BTUs, is massive compared to ordinary wood. And what we have in here is ordinary wood. It's not going to burn very fast or very hot comparatively. So let's get a hose, soak the area down, and rake it up. Alright, so as an additional layer of protection, we're going to take our hose, because I can reach, and we're going to soak everything around the woods. This is something I find very relaxing, which might sound strange to you guys. This is my comfort zone. I love fire. I like making fire. If this isn't something you're comfortable with, you totally shouldn't do it. But this to me is like sitting in a corner with a cup of tea and reading a book for some of you. It's just, I love it. So do what you're comfortable with. Take the safety tips if you want them. But if you don't feel comfortable, don't do it. So it's going pretty good now. It's pretty warm, but it's not out of control. It's been building for, I don't know, probably 40 minutes or so. So it's looking good. Burning down nice. Burning down nice. This area, I realize the camera might not give you a good idea how big it is, but it's probably like 14 by 14 square, 4 or 5 feet tall, just a pile of trash. So, let's see, it's making short work. Short work of it. But let's just throw in a dumpster later. And there's a bunch of wire in there, like hardware cloth that I'm planning on using, so once all the wood burns off of it, I'll just pull it out of there. So the dangerous part of the pile is all finished. Doesn't mean you can just walk away, but I'm not worried about flames shooting up into the treetops anymore. Might have lost this tree, that's okay, I was hoping we wouldn't, but we don't have for a lack of trees. So, I don't like waste. For no reason. You can see over here, my fire break didn't quite do the trick. It started to come back into the woods a little bit, but we had the hose, we had a shovel, no big deal. It's coming down good. Probably by evening time, this will be mostly down, I can start pushing it together. And my barn didn't burn down either. Yay! Alright. Still waiting on that carburetor from Amazon. When that gets here, hopefully we'll get the tractor up and running smooth. I'm going to show you that too, so let's go check the mailbox. Good news. Carburetor's here. Very, very easy swap, okay? See these pins here? They go onto the push rod here and the rod here. Those come off, there's just a little pull and it fits right over that little round part there and it clamps on. I'll show you. Now when you're ordering these, everywhere I read online said look for the tag. Look for the tag, it will tell you what kind you have. Look for the tag. Yeah, this one doesn't have a tag. There's no tag on it. What I did find though was in the grime up here, it said Marvel Schreibler, which is a very common make for this, so I was able to order the right one. So
Very easy to get off. Hose clamp. Okay. This is your fuel line. Mine's been chewed up a bunch, so the proper size doesn't fit anymore. So you just grab it and wrench. I've turned the fuel off on the other side. You'll see it by the tank. I think I showed you in the last video there was that little glass bulb. You turn your fuel off there. Just move that. See the fuel isn't coming out? It's already off. There's a little bit because it's gravity fed, but whatever. Reach back here. This is what I was telling you about, the little spring-loaded thing. Let's see if I can get you closer. Okay. Spring-loaded. Push it forward. Okay, and it lets go. When you let it come in, it grabs that little round part. So to get them off, you just push it forward and slide it off. Very easy. There's two of those, one there on the back. Well, I guess they're both on the back, but. Also, don't wear nice clothes when you're doing this, because they won't be nice when you're done. Let's see, what size is that? Alright. 13 millimeter, we'll pull this off. Don't do this after your tractor is hot, because that manifold gets hot. There's a lock washer there, don't lose that, you're going to want to keep that. Although the new one might have come with them, it's always a good idea to hang on to those parts. And there's the old one. Everything seemed pretty good to me, except, I don't know if you can see in there, probably not. There's one flap in there. It looks like it's missing a spring, and I bet you that's what it was. Because you hear it, listen, hear it rattling? This one, which I think you can see, you see that top part right here? There's a spring on that flap. No rattle. I bet you dollars to donuts, that's what it was. Alright, so putting on the new one, you got to put the studs in it here. This is where your fuel goes in right there. So it came with its own locking nut. So we're going to take these off and set them aside in case we need them at some other point for some reason. Put your gasket on there. One there. And you can just, like I said, these are locking washers, so they're going to get to a certain point and stop. You got to really torque them on there. They have all the room in the world and they decide to make everything right up tight and snug. For whatever reason. Who cares? It's a cool old tractor. Let's go turn the fuel back on, see what happens. She was stalling under a load before, so we're gonna go hook up, well, the mower's hooked up, but we're gonna go engage the PTO and see what happens. There's some adjustment screws we probably still have to play with, but it's running, let's find out. Woo. Backfire. Let's try second. Let's try third. Well, you win some, you lose some. I think the tractor's a win. I just have to adjust that carburetor, but it's cutting a lot better than it was, and that's good. And you can see what we're asking it to do. It's pretty bad out here, so. But I think it will pull enough to plow, and that's really what matters. So, I don't think Piggy's gonna make it. It's near the end of the day. He's not moving as much as he was. The ivermectin seems to be working. The lice and mange and all that stuff is coming off him in droves. But for you medical people, or people that have dealt with things like this, failure to thrive, I think, is our issue. A lethargic little guy, I just don't think. I think we got him too late to really do anything. And sometimes, as you guys know, that's just the way it works. So, unfortunately, I think that's pretty sad. But life goes on the farm. So thanks for joining me today. Thanks for hanging out. We got a lot done. We got stuff burnt, tractors fixed, medicine for piggies. A lot to do, a lot left to do. But don't forget to dress for the job you want. Although I had to change shirts like 3 times today, so you can pick one of those 3 careers that I was wearing shirts for if you like. And we'll see you again next time here on Flannel Farms. Thanks for hanging out with me. Bye-bye. So, Piggy didn't make it. Not too long after I finished filming and everything, the wife came over and said he wasn't breathing right, and by the time I got over there he had, or she had expired. It was a good lesson, I think, for us, especially the kids, that especially on a farm, a working farm, sometimes animals die, and they don't die, you know, for a good purpose. We got him from a friend of mine, and he was a runt when we got him, so a lot of research we did after we took him said that runts, especially in pig litters, don't typically make it, so we were fighting an uphill battle anyways. On the plus side though, now we have some stuff on hand, some anti-parasitic type things for when we have our actual pigs, which we weren't planning on for the next 2 months, I think. So anyhow, I appreciate you being here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for your support, your comments, and a lot of the questions I've asked that you guys have answered have been amazing. So I really appreciate the emails back and forth have been wonderful. So thanks for your continued support. We'll see you next time on Flannel Farms.